Welcome back, guys, to Trails to Azure, where last episode we started by completing the quest Dolnath by finding the 4th doll in a never-seen-before area beneath Belgard Gate, before returning to the IBC where the 5th was found in the computer room, returning the expensive possessions of Mariabel to their rightful owner. We then headed over to Orchis Tower to begin our security work with the West Zemuria Trade Conference about to begin, heading inside and meeting with Chief Dudley as we learned that Mayor Dieter had taken time out of his day to give us a personal tour. Wow, incredible.
Don't get any earthquake here, right? We can see the world's seams. Whoa! It's absolutely amazing. Boy, is it. Get a load of that view. I'm glad you all find it as satisfying as I do. This is the 34th floor, where much of the staff will be on standby during the trade conference. Are you ready to have a look around? Lead the way, Mr. Mayor. Here we have the security command room, and there's the press room just next door. There will be a company of guardsmen from the CGF on the floor below in the event of any terrorist infiltration. Right, I remember being briefed about that. Bet they're going to send the best the CGF has to offer. I suppose the press room is where Grace will be spending all of her time. You mean that reporter from the Crossbell Times? That's right, I believe I saw her name on the list, so we can expect she'll be attending. Bear in mind that the press aren't permitted to leave this floor with the exception of the press conference or any scheduled interviews. Sounds reasonable enough. It's necessary. Sometimes reporters can get a little pushy for a surprise Q&A session. Enough to slip past security even. Yeah. One we know would do that. Grace likely accounts for most of those instances, if not all of them. I can already picture us dragging her away from somewhere she's not supposed to be. What are these coat hangers about? Allow me to take the opportunity to show you into this room. It's like weird Wi-Fi antennas or something. Well now, this is more my kind of place. Looks like a break room, but it's so spacious. Precisely, this is the lounge I had prepared for the conference. Feel free to use it yourselves during your downtime. Thank you. We'll be sure to. You could always stop by for tea later. Let's head to the next floor, shall we? Oh yeah, light fixtures does make sense. Just weird lights. Someone put pinball flippers on lights. Is this an emergency stairwell? Looks like the way you're going down is sealed off though. Normally you'd be able to use these stairs to descend all the way to the first floor. However, we sealed them off in preparation for the conference. Only the stairs between floors 34, 35, and 36 will be open. In other words, it's a security measure. What do people do in case of emergency, say if an earthquake occurs? Should such an event come to pass, the gates to the stairwell will automatically open, which just goes to show that no security plan is foolproof. Not when we have to account for the unexpected. True, we'll do our part to cover any possible gaps. Devising anti-hacking protocols will be a necessity, it seems. Since we're here, why don't we take the stairs? Next up, the 35th floor, home to the International Conference Room. Got all our flags up. Oh, uneven. Oh, is this it? That's right, before you is the stage upon which world leaders will pursue the elusive dream that is diplomacy. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the International Conference Room. So Remoferia is like leaves? It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it. You must have had to take a chunk out the next floor up with how high this ceiling is. As it so happens, the 36th floor was designed in the shape of a U so as to accommodate the conference room. The antechambers to either side will house the staff of each respective dignitary. Their personal security details will be on standby there as well. Oh, Remoferia is on the far end. That's Calvert then. Oh, that's smart. Well, they all have to go somewhere, don't they? Let us move to the final floor of our tour, shall we? I just automatically assume that they put the three most important ones on the right, and there's Crossbell and Remoferia on the left. Rooms prepared on this floor will be provided to the dignitaries participating in the conference. Allow me to show you around. After you. The thing I find weird is putting Calvert's flag next to Crossbell's flag, then it makes it look a bit side-choosing. Whoa, check this place out. Talk about swanky. If you gave me a room like this, I don't think I'd ever want to leave. This one will serve as a waiting lounge for Prince Olivert. There are rooms in the west wing as well, one assigned for each visiting participant. They also double as spaces to cool one's head, should things get too heated during the conference. That makes sense. Are these rooms fitted with orbital cables as well? That's right, we requested that the wiring be inconspicuously installed. Now then, why don't we put the other rooms aside for now? See, there's one final place I'd like to show you. Good afternoon, Mayor Crois. Good to see you today, sir. These gentlemen. From these windows, you'll be able to command a full view of the conference as it progresses. There are curtains to make things private should a confidential meeting take place. They'll be open on this occasion. Good to know. This way, we can get a quick glance at how the conference is going while we're on patrol. That's right, and if anything were to happen, we could rush in as soon as we saw it. We should make this a routine stop on our route then. Well, you've now seen all three floors that will be part of your security rounds. However, if you would allow me, there is one more place I've been saving for last. You mean this wasn't it? So where are we going? Isn't it obvious? The spot with the best view of all. The roof? No thanks. Puke now. Blah. Oh, I've fallen off. Whoa! Look at that. It's breathtaking. No, I'll stay back here, fine. No. What are you doing, guys? Get back. Wow. Words don't do it justice. Not in the least. The rest of the city looks like a miniature model from this far up. Dang, makes me wish this whole get-together was after dark, but the view at night's insane. This little area will eventually become an observation deck for the public. It would be a terrible waste, after all, to restrict something so marvelous to government officials only. I want to build bigger fences. I'm sure people will love it. I can't wait for us to take Kia here too. Oh, pardon me. Crois here. That's so. Understood. I'll be right there right away. I just received word that the dignitaries have arrived at the tower. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll have to take my leave here. Not at all. Thank you for showing us around. We appreciated it. Boy, did we. That was something else. It was the tour of a lifetime. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thank you as well for giving me the change of pace I needed. I'll be seeing you all. Good luck with your security duties, and remember, give it everything you've got. We won't let you down. It's the least I could do to pay you back for that letter of recommendation. Helios be with you. I'll be praying for your success at the conference. As will I. Ha ha. Alright, let's make our way back to Dudley. He should be in the security command room on the 34th floor by now. Now the real work begins. Here's hoping this goes smoothly. Yeah, fingers crossed. the same day at 1 p.m. Let us hereby call to order the main session of the West Zemuria Trade Conference. I, Henry McDowell, shall have the honor of officiating the proceedings. The conference is scheduled to run for approximately 5 hours, during which there will be one intermission period. However, depending on how deliberations are progressing, a limited extension may be granted. I would now like to introduce you to 2 observers that will be joining us for the conference. Lawyer Ian Grimwood. He is a legal expert who is active not only in Crossbell but our surrounding nations as well. I requested that he attend today's conference due to its familiarity with both common and international law. It's a pleasure to be here, everyone. I'm Ian Grimwood at your service. Ah, so this must be Crossbell's famous Grizzly Grim. Yes, I've heard of you as well. They say you're primarily concerned with issues regarding civil rights.
It is an honor to meet you.
You flatter me. I hope my expertise proves useful to everyone today. Next, Bracer Arios McLean. You may recognize the name from his many outstanding achievements in our neighboring countries. I requested that he too attend as a neutral observer on behalf of the Bracer Guild to further ensure our safety here today. That is correct. I am Arios McLean. A pleasure to make your acquaintances. So this is the Divine Blade of Wind. The speaker assumes right. Your reputation greatly precedes you, even over in the Republic. Tales of your deeds reach the Imperial capital as well. People often speak of Crossbell's divine blade, a man swayed in windborne might. I am honored. Without further ado, we will begin by going over each proposal on today's docket. Mayor Crois will be our first proponent. The floor is yours, Mayor Crois. Thank you. Now, if you would all direct your attention to bill number 1 in your provided materials.
It's begun.
Yeah, we already knew that Arios would be here, but I had no idea Mr. Grimwood was going to play a role too.
We've seen his moniker of Grizzly Grim is well known outside of Crossbell as well. Keep in mind, conferences such as these are meant for establishing accords and agreements between governing bodies. As such, it's necessary to have someone on hand with expertise in international and common law.
Oh, I see. And who would make a better advisor for that than Grizzly Grim himself? It's nice that we can see the start of the conference and all, but this stuff is way over my head. It's not as though it's our place to be concerned with the actual discussions during the conference. Focus on what matters most, making sure today passes without incident. Understood.
Should we begin as planned?
Yes, I've tasked you with patrolling the 34th, 35th, and 36th stories. Everyone on these floors should know who you are and why you're here. I'll advise you to take time to speak with members of the media and staff of the dignitaries. Roger that. Good, I'll be heading back to the 34th floor now. May Eidos protect you. Call me if anything happens. Dudley is usually pretty steely, but even he's on edge today.
I noticed too. It's hard to imagine today ending peacefully after what we experienced last night. I agree. We're going to need to be hyper vigilant on these patrols.
No kidding. What do you say, leader? Ready to get this show on the road? I am. Let's follow Dudley's advice and speak with all the other parties present. Is that how this will unfold? The conference is finally here. I don't know about you, but I can feel the tension in the air. Well, so there you go. Rooms here in the West Wing are reserved for the visiting dignitaries from Remitharia, Libel, and Calvard. For their privacy, we've limited patrols on this floor to only what's necessary. That may sound flawed, but do understand that our guests are heads of state. We're obligated to provide them a certain amount of confidentiality. The dignitaries are also being accompanied by their own personal escorts during any recesses, so security shouldn't be an issue. We won't be able to move freely through this area during the intermission. If you'd like to inspect the rooms on this floor, I suggest you do so now. Oh, that's the way down. I guess the stairs on either side, right? This is the room reserved for Prince Albert of Remefaria. From what I understand, the Grand Prince has an extensive knowledge of music. As it happens, I'm currently preparing Speaker McDowell's private record collection for him to enjoy. Prince Albert and Speaker McDowell seem to have a very strong rapport with one another. Makes sense when you think about it. Remefaria has been the primary sponsor of St. Ursula Hospital for many years. Phew, I'm dusting up a storm today. There's not a speck out of place on this pot plant now that I'm done with it. Time to double check for any spots I missed. Just like, don't believe you're made. Do you know what I mean? At this point, like, anyone who's in these places. Doubt. Secret services, you know? Oh, you're those patrol officers, or police officers they have on patrol, aren't you? That's us. Sorry for interrupting. Scree! Ah, you're Princess Claudia's little friend Sieg, was it? Ah, this must be the gear Falcon Kia told me about. Scree! What's the little guy saying? Could you translate for us, Tio? He said, hello again, SSS, and nice to meet you, Tio. So he remembers us after all. Clever bird. Scree! I always remember the faces of Princess Claudia's friends. Well, I'm honored to hear you say that, Sieg. Scree! Oh, you're familiar with Mr. Sieg? Isn't he just the cutest, smartest little bird you've ever seen? Mr. Sieg. Yes, put respect on my burb's name. I don't mean to make a fuss, but are those refreshments truly suitable for the president? I understand your concern, but the kitchen staff did their very best with them. I'm sure they'll be fine. Besides, they're patriotic, in a way, don't you think? I suppose so, but surely there were better alternatives. Is there some kind of issue with the snacks they prepared? Those sweet buns have Mishy's face on them. I would recognize them anywhere. They're Mishy buns. I fail to see the problem here. Any other foodstuff would be objectively inferior. Calm down, Tio. If nothing else, they'll give the president something to remember Crossbell by. Oh, great. Now that you've brought up the issue, I can't stop worrying about it. It's too late now. We don't have any time to prepare something else. Every one of these sweet buns has Mishy's face stenciled on them. Can't help but think of them a rather tacky choice to serve at so formal an event. Mishy buns. Wow, the view from this corridor is really something impressive. Staring into the distance makes you feel like you're floating on top of the clouds. No, I've got to stay alert. I'm on duty here. I'm supposed to be on full alert right now, but this view is so distracting. And idle mind truly does wonder, huh? Dignitaries have personal rooms on this floor. The first on the right is for the mayor and the speaker. After that is Prince Oliver's. The first room to the back has been reserved for Chancellor Osborne. They're unoccupied at present, save for the cleaning staff, so feel free to enter if you'd like. Repeat. So this is also stairs? No, this is the lift. Oh, we can actually take the lift instead of the stairs. Let's start with the end room then. Man, get a load of that view. Ain't it something, SSS? Lecter, what are you doing here? Oh, come on, you guys. I'm part of His Excellency the Chancellor's staff. Nothing unusual about me kicking back in here. Anyway, good to see you again, gang. We've really got to stop meeting like this. Even today of all days, you look like you don't have a care in the world. What he looks like is someone with something to hide. Hey, don't be that little lady. Only thing I'm hiding under all this charm is additional surplus charm. So those glares on your faces tell me you guys have a boatload of questions you want to ask. That's right, we've learned a thing or two in the past 24 hours. Specifically about the Imperial government's actions or lack thereof regarding the trade conference. Alright then, I'm not exactly sure what you've heard, so let me shoot you a question of my own. Did you know that I'm working with the noble faction to take Gilead Osborne's life? What? Oh? Consider the source, everyone. Don't listen to a word he says. I ain't falling for this one again, pal. Fool us once, shame on you. Dang, don't ruin a guy's fun like that. 2 out of 6 ain't half bad, but I was hoping to string half of you along at least. I suppose we can just chalk that one up as a crude attempt at humor then. Listen, Lecter, because I need to make something clear. I don't care what your position or goal is. Where I'm standing, you're the type of person who knows how to take responsibility and get the job done. Owing to that, the most logical thing to do would be to cooperate with us, at least as far as security is concerned. Am I wrong? So that's your play. I was only fooling around about that turncoat business just now, but you can't tell me it's totally impossible to picture, right? You've got to keep your eyes peeled at all times. Stay vigilant, see the signs. That's the key to a good writer finding inspiration, you know? I don't know any aspiring authors in this room last time I checked. I've seen broken rifles shoot straighter than this guy. Sorry, but that's all the advice I can give you at the moment. You should keep an open mind about how things might play out. Expect the unexpected and all that jazz. That's real helpful, thanks. Even now, I can't get a read on what he's thinking. I feel like I understand him even less than I did before. I can see Armorica Village off in the distance. Man, just look at all those bees go, carrying honey and buzzing all over the place. Get real, there's no way you can see that far. Really, really? Don't underestimate. Spout them eyes. I heard Prince Oliver is especially fond of red roses, so I took the liberty of fetching some to decorate his room with. I hope he enjoys them. Before he starts chucking them at everyone. This room will be set aside for Prince Oliver during today's intermission. His Highness is quite renowned among the Imperial upper crust for his refined taste and unique pursuits. Knowing that makes me want to put all of my energy into preparing this room to his liking. Lots of booze. The Mayor and Speaker will be sharing this room during the intermission. They have their work cut out for them representing Crossbell today, so I'm going to make this place as spick and span as I can. You've got this, Mr. Mayor. You can do it, Speaker McDowell. This spot gives you an amazing view of Crossbell. Every time I try to clean the windows, I end up getting distracted gazing out at the city instead. Scrub, scrub, scrub. La-di-da. Wipey wiping. Right, well, that's this floor done. Let's continue our security search. Can I take the elevator or the stairs? Shout out to the emergency stairwell is sealed tight. This leads to the 37th floor. Yes, we were told we wouldn't be able to go this way during the conference, if you recall. I believe the shutter's locking mechanism is controlled via the orbital network. Remember what the Mayor said, though. There's no such thing as a foolproof security system. But you better keep that in mind just in case. The 35th floor. I say, who's there to talk to? Killican's here! Today's trade conference is of great interest to those of us from Remithalia. I'm hoping it leads to further economic development back home. You're the special sports section, correct? I heard you assisted His Lordship Prince Albert yesterday. Not at all. If anything, he was the one who helped us. That's right. His Lordship's medical knowledge was tremendously useful. Ah, is that so? To his credit, the Grand Prince is an excellent doctor in his own right. Details aside, I can say with confidence that His Lordship was both extremely pleased and impressed with all of you. I'm glad to have the opportunity to meet the men and women he spoke so highly of. Our pleasure, my man. We appreciate your kind words. Yes, I understand we have a potential terrorist situation on our hands today. That's always the case when it comes to international conferences. However, this time seems especially precarious. Last thing anyone wants is for the dignitaries to be exposed to danger. To prevent that, we'll have to do everything we can to keep this place secure. We've been briefed on the possibility of terrorists targeting the conference. Every one of us is going to have to do our utmost to keep the attendees safe and secure. He had a lot of dialogue, that guy. The conference appears to be going along well. Better than a typical Republican Parliament session anyway. The president has to be relieved he's not dealing with the opposing party today. Hey, I want to talk to your other guy here. Hi, it must be that special sports section they have on patrol duty. Thank you very much for your service. Let us know if there's anything we can do to make your job easier. Patrolling is what I do. Well, look who it is. How go your patrols, SSS? Killica. Look on your faces tell me you have some intel about what could happen today. Might have something to do with your invitation aboard the RCL, perhaps?
I beg your pardon? We should have expected you would already know.
Jeez, how do your sources even get this stuff?
Settle down, it isn't anything to fret over.
I am curious, though.
Did you hear anything of note?
It was only some friendly advice, nothing more. There's still plenty we have to figure out for ourselves.
Is that right? The same could be said of myself.
What?
I was merely thinking aloud. I can envision as many scenarios as I'd like, but that doesn't mean any of them will come to pass. With so many conflicting motives, there's still much we don't know. That's true of everyone working here today. Will today be the day the first domino falls, or is that juncture yet to come? Who can really say at this point in time?
I think I understand what you're getting at, but still. Either way, she's right on the mirror.
The only thing I'll add is that my role today is nothing more than that of a presidential guardian and keeper. In that sense, you could almost consider us as colleagues. Or say we put aside our allegiances and simply watch how today unfolds. Beyond that, I have no further comments to make for the moment.
Fair enough, thanks for the information.
I'm sure you have much you'd like to discuss, but for now, let's watch and see how things proceed. Given that we're both tasked with security today, our duties aren't all that different from each other.
We obviously can't enter in the middle of the conference. Let's leave before we bother anyone. Oh yeah, that is the conference door, isn't it? I didn't just try to enter. No, not me. Conference is currently in session. If you'd like to observe, you can do so from the gallery on the next floor. The conference is finally underway. Terrorists really do attack. We can only guess what they'd be after. Regardless, we all have our assignments from the security command room, and you can be sure we're going to do them. If terrorists really do attack, we can only guess what they'd be after. See, the question is, I don't even know what we're after at the moment in terms of actually finishing this patrol. Do we actually have to talk to everyone? It sounds like it. First half of the conference is scheduled to conclude at 3 p.m. Of course, that could change slightly depending on how things go inside. The conference is currently in session. If you'd like to observe, you can do so from the gallery on the next floor. Yes, you said that, sir. Lots of people in here. Good afternoon, everyone. If it isn't the special support section, I take it you've been securing the conference floors for everyone? That's right, we managed to eke out an assignment as part of the security. So this room is where they stash all the big guns, is it? Metaphorically speaking, of course. I bet every last person in here is a ranking officer. Correct. By all accounts, this room alone could prevent a major incident. Absolutely. Not to mention Senior Captain Schwartz's swordsmanship. I've heard it's as fearsome as it is elegant. You are far too kind. It's nothing so extraordinary. That being said, no matter what happens, no one will lay as much as a finger on Her Highness, I swear it. Trust us to protect the conference room, and we will trust you to keep watch over the other floors. Of course. Thank you. As members of the Royal Guard, it's our sworn duty to protect Princess Claudia by any means necessary. Rest assured that the security here is in good hands. Best of luck with the rest of your patrols. Trust us to protect the conference room, and we will trust you to keep watch over the other floors. May the earth protect you all indeed. Thank you, Julia. It's good to see you again, Major Vander. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary yet? Ah, hello there, SSS. It's hardly enough reason to let our guards down, but things have been calm thus far. Even the discourse of the conference itself has been civil. I'm admittedly impressed by how smoothly things are going. If the conference continues to go well, that will at least alleviate some of the stress on the prince's shoulders. Is everything okay, Major Vander? You seem to have a lot on your mind. I suppose you could say that. In a sense, we've only come this far because of the seeds he chose to sow. But never mind that. What matters most right now is our duties at the conference. I have a role to play as the prince's escort, just as I'm sure you will have your own, keeping the conference secure. Right, that much is for certain. I'm here to serve as the prince's escort. As such, I will observe the conference until its conclusion, the way any military officer in my shoes would. You all have your own duties to fulfill. Don't let me keep you from them. Any loud noises you make in this room will carry over next door and disrupt the conference. As such, we ask that you remain as quiet as possible while you're here. Yes, sir. Ah, you must be the special sports section. Thank you for your service today. As you can see, there's nothing out of the ordinary to report here. If you have no particular business, I would ask that you not loiter in this room any longer than needed. Sure thing. Rather blunt, isn't he? Like a pistol whip to the face. As you can see, there's nothing out of the ordinary to report here. Pee off, basically. I've been a nervous wreck all day, but I can't let this opportunity go to waste, especially after all Prince Oliver's done for the Academy. Most importantly, I'm here as a representative of Force,
I've got to pull myself together and chip in.
What's a girl in a school uniform doing here?
I did hear that a student was going to be accompanying the Imperial government to the conference. Supposedly they're hoping to gain some real-world experience, being one of the best and brightest of their academy. This must be her.
Damn, and here I was thinking someone just couldn't find a babysitter.
Somehow I get the feeling she and I would have a lot to talk about. She has to have skipped a grade or two, right?
Well, you never know. That girl just might be around the same age as you and Lloyd. She seems like she's got a good head on her shoulders, so I guess she could be older than she looks. It would be nice to get to know her, but we're a bit pressed for time today.
Let's see, I still have to put together the conference minutes and review the draft we're sending to the Imperial Times. Oh, and I need to respond to Radio Trista's media request too.
Well, that's that room checked out. Of all its personnel and people, should we take the elevator down to the next one? "10 years later." This waiting room is for members of the press from each participating country. General policy forbids them from exiting while the conference is in session. They should all be accounted for in there. Feel free to enter if there's anything you need to confirm. The press. Wow, that's quite a few of them. Let's start from the back of the room. I haven't heard too many positive remarks about the Crossbell police in the past. However, seeing how tight the building security is, I'm getting the exact opposite impression today. The only conclusion I can come to is the CPD's shortcomings are a result of their structure, not their people. Well, I guess that's good. This trade conference truly is extraordinary. I've never covered anything like this before. Conferences between any two of these countries aren't uncommon, but between Crossbell and its 4 neighboring nations, that's unheard of. Not to mention both Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith are attending in person rather than sending surrogates. This is essentially the first time these two men have ever met face to face. Talk about history in the making. Some presidents, to say the least. Reports from every participating nation have gathered for the sake of covering this day, you and your Imperial Chronicle colleagues included. The same could be said about President Rocksmith. Seeing is believing when it comes to understanding what kind of leaders they are. In the president's case, he gave off a much more imposing, dignified impression than when I see him pictured in the Imperial Times. I must say, though, Chancellor Osborne is even more intimidating in person. It truly puts this particular brand of leadership into perspective. A simple photo could never hope to capture that. I'm Thompson from the Ardent Press. A pleasure to meet you. You're a photographer of the Imperial Times, if I'm not mistaken. That's right, but I'm still only a rookie. You said Ardent Press, right? That means you're from Remoferia. We may be from different countries, but we're not competitors today. I'm looking forward to working with you. Likewise. Here's hoping we all get the story we're looking for. That's right, on clear days you can see it standing tall in the distance. As a matter of fact, it's actually given Altair's tourism industry a slight boost, almost as if it's a second-hand landmark. Already, Orchis Tower is impacting the economies of multiple countries at once. I must admit, Orchis Tower is an absolutely remarkable building. Remoferia is of course too far away to spot it, but I believe you can pick it out quite clearly over from Altair. Good to see you, SSS. Hey, if it ain't Lloyd and Company. Feels like we've been waiting forever for this trade conference to kick off, doesn't it? It's the main event of all main events. Crossbell's leadership and representatives from 4 nearby countries in a bonanza of international discourse. And of course, a big to-do like this demands a primetime venue. Orchis Tower, the continent's first true skyscraper. Can you feel it? The nerves in the air? I'm so tense that my heart's about to jump out of my chest. I definitely see the tension, but honestly, you don't look the least bit nervous to me. I suspect the nerves are coming less from her and more from her future prospective victims/interviewees. Tio, you're back, and you brought that trademark snark along with you too. I'll admit, I'm not so anxious as I am giddy. But enough about that. There's someone I want to introduce you to. Meet Notitia. Notitia, this is the special support section. Nice to meet you. I've seen you all in the papers before. You look like an even finer team in person. I'm Notitia, a reporter from the Libelle News. Thanks for keeping us all safe for the day. Happy to be of service. I've heard the Libelle News Service is the largest publication in the kingdom. That's right, they've also been getting a lot of attention in the journalism world for another reason. 2 of their own reporters were awarded the Pulitzer Prize last year. The Pulitzer, isn't that the prize that Nielsen person won a few years back? It's given to the continent's most outstanding journalist every year, if I remember right. That's the one. Anyway, the latest recipients are a duo by the name of Neil Burns and Dorothy Hiat. Yeah! Neil's our ace reporter and Dorothy's a brilliant camera woman. So the kingdom took home the crown last year, huh? 2 guesses as to what the prize-winning story was. Could it have been about the strange phenomenon that happened in La Belle around that time? Right again. Though technically everything they covered leading up to the incident factored into the decision too. I see. They sound very impressive. Yeah, I guess so. That doesn't mean we'll just lie down and let them outshine us. It's every reporter's dream to win the Pulitzer Prize at least once in their career. And if you want to win the next one, then you better get the best scoop you can each and every day. Especially this one. You got that, Reigns? We can't let any of these news hounds get the jump on us. Yes, ma'am. If Grace gets any more fired up, the orbital sprinkler system might go off. Let's hope she can behave herself at least.